And we know the payroll industry has not been disrupted yet as far as Web3. So it's good to see a project, specifically Zebec, targeting a niche that's not only lucrative, but as far as Web3, there's not much competition. It's your boy Crypto Millie. I'm back with another one. I don't want to get too much into Zebec and what the utility is and use case guy. Guys, go check out my prior videos. What matters the most is if Zebec is able to capture 1 to 2% of the payroll DeFi market through these enterprise partnerships. And even on their page, I think they were marketing the fact that their payroll growth within the ecosystem continues to accelerate. So this is good for the utility standpoint. But what I want to focus on the TA, because I know you guys get the conspiracy theory and the utility videos all the time. And maybe one day I start to do those for Zebec. But a lot of people ask about the charts, the price action. We'll go over a few indicators. Make sure you let me know how you feel about the niche of Zebec and if it's something that could be successful down the line within the next 5 to 10 years. I just want to know if this project is, if you feel like this project is here to stay. Many would even call it the next XRP. Do your research. Do your research. Now, let's go to the TA perspective. On the weekly, it is overbought, right? You're getting a stock RSI cross. Not yet printed a sell signal, and the only reason it hasn't is because it's so far above these moving averages. But I wouldn't be surprised if Zebec comes down to retest maybe the 618 at about 3.5 pennies, right? But I would look for it to at least try to hold this. Well, it's not much support. This is a pretty new token after the migration, right? So not much on the charts, but you want to see it kind of hold this here. Actually, let's see if I can find ZBCN, because I know this was a they had a couple pools. Let me see if I can find a pool that has a little bit more history on it, so we can get a good weekly chart here. But again, very bullish on ZBCN and the utility and use case aspect. So yeah. This is the chart for trading view. So we'll have to take a look at it from DEX tools on the 3-day. But even the 3-day, you can see it's a little bit overextended. MACD a little bit overextended. RSI overbought and stock RSI overbought. We haven't yet confirmed bearish momentum, but I believe it's coming, especially if the ecosystem that it's on, which is Solana, continues to show weakness here on the weekly. You can see the Solana hasn't yet printed that sell signal, but I do think it's coming, especially if Solana gets rejected here at these moving averages. It is overbought and looking to confirm bearish momentum here as well. Now, let me just check the ultimate RSI and see if we got any motion with a few other indicators, because I don't use a lot of indicators, but I use a few to give me a good idea where the momentum. So even the ultimate RSI, yeah, cooked right now for Solana on the weekly. And just like we see from tokens like Jasmine and the correlation to Ethereum, sometimes if the native token is not pumping, it gets a little bit harder. That doesn't mean Zebec won't pump. It just means it gets a little bit harder. Let's check the MACD here also on Solana and see if we got any motion. MACD still showing a little bit of weakness, and you see it's a little bit of distribution here as Solana is on this downtrend. And then you got the Sol BTC, which also just printed a sell signal here. So Solana against Bitcoin showing even more weakness. So what this tells you here is if Bitcoin decides to dip a little bit, even though Bitcoin has been showing strength above 100K, if it starts to dip a little bit, it'll most likely take Solana with it, because Solana is on this downtrend with the Sol BTC. So the fact that Zebec is a little bit extended, I am expecting a correction. I would love to see it hold about 204 and build some support here at 204, right? This is the weekly, but Let's actually go to the daily chart here. Show you guys what I'm talking about. Alrighty, so you can kind of like see it on the daily looking to reset the stock RSI, but you got the 21-day EMA on the daily right around 204. So you just want to hold 204 and start to build some support and structure there, maybe some accumulation before the next leg up, right? If it does break 204, then in my opinion, the next stop is going to be the 618 here, which is, go back to the weekly chart, the 618. So somewhere around 203, right? So you want to see it kind of put in a bull flag, hang around out here, pick up some new buyers, and then continue its next move. And again, June could be a little bit of a correction for crypto itself, just in totality, because Zebec, it's like a top 200 coin, but we did print a sell signal also here on the total 3. So this could mean a correction all across the board, especially if the alt BTC chart is showing weakness. So I'm saying that to say this, it's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Because there's a lot of people that want to buy Zebec. This is not like fearmonger. I'm gonna try to get a better bag or nothing like that. This is just me telling you, like, if you want to buy the dip, you should have an opportunity here. If you want to find an initial entry and you're very bullish on what this project is as far as the future, you should be able to find an opportunity here. The thing is, do you believe that we will get the next leg up? Do you believe that, once we correct, and maybe June is a little bit of a, maybe going into mid-June, we finally get that rally? But do you believe the crypto market itself, right, risk on market, will get the next leg up? I think it will, because at the end of the day, we're in QT, but at some point they're going to cut these rates and the market is going to price this in. I don't believe the market priced in 3 federal rate cuts. And Zebec is a very, 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 very bullish cryptocurrency. You can kind of like tell from, excuse my phone here, guys. You can kind of like tell from the community how protected the community is. I think I seen the community going back and forth with, like, somebody created a meme coin for the Zebec community, and it's funny when you see these utilities like, oh, we don't want no meme coin, right? But I don't know much about the meme coin, but I seen the community being very overprotective about the Zebec community, which is you want to see that from a utility token. I told you guys, like, when you get these tokens that have utility but have and I'm not calling the community delusional, but this is a term in crypto. When you have a delusional community that's actually bullish, right? You can't tell me nothing about my utility token. Nothing wrong with that, right? I'm personally not like that, but I'm not against it, right? Because I understand that's how you build communities behind these utility tokens. So from the grand scheme of things, we just need the market itself to perform. We need to make it through these macro wins. We need Solana to get a little bit more strength, right? And we need Zebec itself to start building some support and pick up some accumulation and prepare for the next leg up. Other than that, I think the show goes on. I think the show goes on. It's well above its moving averages here, but it's a very, very, very strong token. And they're consistently creating new liquidity pools, getting listed on new exchanges. All of that's going to bring in new liquidity. Let me know what you think about the Zebec. It's your boy Crypto Millie. I'll see you in the next one.